guys, welcome to Nerd Locker Podcast, where we break down the latest in movies, television, video games, and more. My name's Adam.
I guess that makes me Oliver.
That does make you Oliver, today, at least.
What do you mean today?
Tomorrow you might not be. You might be Octavio.
Or
Orlando. Or Oscar. Or whatever the hell you want to be.
I don't know why I made Orlando Italian. That was weird.
I don't know. Okay, guys, so we're going to be talking about The Acolyte, episode 4.
Yeah.
And this was a very quick episode. It's about 28 minutes about. Yeah. And this episode...
Minus the credits, by the way.
Minus the credits. Like, I didn't dislike this episode. I think this episode was great. It just... I wanted so much more.
I don't understand why they're so short.
I wanted so much more, dude. Because I think there's not much to go. There's 2 more episodes left. There's
2 more episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
There's...
Bro, only 6. So they're like getting there. And this is I still feel like from the last episode that they're, and I didn't talk about this, but the bridge where they fell.
Yeah.
The way the camera cut, and it definitely looked like the other sister jumped off.
Yeah.
So I really think that May and Osha are not who they say they are. But that's beside the point. Regardless, guys, I'm just going to skip to the best parts here because we want to talk about 2 different things in this episode. So we're going to go with Acolyte for this. And then after that, we're going to talk about a movie we just watched. So to go quickly over this, some of the things that stood out to me is there's definitely like some kind of like friendship or romance kind of going on with Osha and what's her name?
Padawans.
Yeah, one of the Padawans. I forget her name. But she's played by Daphne Keane, who played X-23 in the Wolverine movie. Mm-hmm. So I think she's going to end up coming into that movie as well. But let me just make sure who... Jackie. There we go. Jackie. I think there's some kind of romance or like at least a lasting friendship going on there.
Like a lasting friendship, if anything.
And then I would say... Another thing that stood out to me was, first off, we got a...
What?
Guys, I'm upset. We got for the first time, Jedi Wookiee.
Live action Jedi Wookiee?
And then we don't even fucking get him see... Like, he doesn't
even
have a lightsaber at any given point.
Like,
we don't get to see it.
Dies.
He's dead.
Dude, that was shitty. I was like, well, this is stupid.
And it's from the Master, Mai's Master, who we... see confront Osha and then throw her to the side and then like confront the Jedi. Yeah, like he doesn't even care. Then like blast the rest of the Jedi and then we cut to black. So a lot of theories and rumors have gone around that this is Darth Plagueis. Do you think that it could be?
I mean, there's a possibility.
Like
there's always a possibility of something, or they could bring up like something new.
We could also see young Palpatine.
If I see another character that's brought back to carry some sort of TV show, I'm going to flip shit.
But, like...
I want something either brought back that is, like, from an actual era, like an actual character.
Okay, so who do you want it to be, then? Who do you want the Sith to be?
I'd be happy with Plagueis. If it's Darth Bane, that'd be great.
Okay. Who don't you want it to be? Jar Jar?
At this point, I'll take Jar Jar. I don't want anybody fucking that we've seen before. I don't want, like for example, like I was thinking about this while we were watching the show. If we're on this planet and like we see this Wookiee Jedi and all of a sudden like Chewie comes out of nowhere, I'm going to be mad.
I don't think Chewie...
I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah.
Because they saw Wookiee and they associate Wookiee with Wookiee. I would be mad if I saw Chewie because now everyone's going to be focused on Chewie and not this new character that we're trying to develop. Mm-hmm. So like it's just like... I don't want to see
I don't know if we've
anymore.
gotten confirmed for season 2 for this or not.
I so far it's kind of going a little bit like down. Like first 2 episodes, the premiere is great, and now it's kind of dipping for me.
It's dipping a little bit, yeah. It's taking its time, and it's like, what are you getting towards, and like why did you need to tell this story in the overall of what you're doing? You know what I mean? Because like you have the Mando Grogu movie, you have this Rey 15 years later movie. So like,
right.
Why do you need to tell the chapter?
We're just stalling right now.
I don't think we're stalling. There's something here that we do need to know, and I think it has something to do with when we get to Rey, and this is my opinion on it, is Rey, throughout all of the first or of her trilogy, was like trying to figure out who she was. She wasn't necessarily Jedi. She wasn't necessarily Sith. She was like kind of in the middle. And at the end of it, we kind of get to see the yellow lightsaber and like that she was neither one or the other. And I think that's what we're trying to get to, because I think she's going to still struggle with that going forward 15 years later, and like training new Jedi in what was the Jedi and the Sith. Because you have this like witch background of where they're using the dark side, but they're not using it for dark side purposes. So like, are we going to teach people differently because of all this? And sorry, that's what I'm like getting at.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we just gotta wait. I don't know. Acolyte's kind of going downhill for me personally. We'll see what happens next episode. I mean, this was a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And we watched 2 things today, or 3 things technically. We got a cliffhanger on both ends.
Yeah. So,
what do you rate it?
I
Episode 4.
give it like a 7.
7?
I only give it a 7 because regardless, we still got some of our Wookiee Jedi.
Dude, we got a dead fucking Wookiee.
Okay, you know what? Let's say 6.5.
No, I'm doing a 4. Dude, after I saw that dead Wookiee, I was so disappointed.
That's crazy.
Dude, I
All right.
could have gone without.
All right. Well, okay, so that's our review on the Acolyte.
Yeah.
And before we get into our next review, here is a word from our sponsor. Let's talk about data breaches. You know how creepy it is to get ads that are like way targeted?
It's absurd. I literally got a text the other day, and it just said, "Hello, Oliver. How are you today?" I'm like, I don't know you. How do you know my name? What's happening?
I sometimes respond. I'm like, who is this? And they're like, nah.
They're like,
they don't
no,
respond back at all. Yeah. I also get like weird Instagram ads, things like that. It's so weird. And the thing is, like, these data brokers, they have your full name, your address, your email, and your health records. And they sell it all for like $1, dude. Quick dollar.
Honestly, so that's why I started using Aura. It's like a superhero for your privacy. It's great. It's amazing. It scans the dark web for your information that's being sold, and then bam, automatically opts you out of those shady websites, so you don't get those really creepy messages that I definitely don't like. You get less spam, and that's just the beginning. Like, having your info out there makes you a target for hackers who could also just crack into your social media, bank accounts, and the whole 9.
Really? Huh. Well, you know, the thing is with Aura, they go above and beyond just privacy, though. They also have VPNs, they also have antivirus, and they have a password manager, like, you know, someone that doesn't forget.
What?
They even have parental controls and identity theft insurance. It's all pretty good. And not only that, it just keeps it simple instead of all those different apps that you have to download and stuff like that.
It's really, really annoying. But look, I know you might already have some of these features covered, but think of it like this. Aura has 24/7 security. That's like the whole week and then some hours. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's like all the hours.
Yeah, that's all the hours.
It's basically 24/7 security guard working tirelessly in the background so you can browse, game, and stream with a peace of mind.
It's honestly one of the best services, guys, especially for different things. Instead of all the malware protection, you get your own VPN service, all that stuff in one.
You get VPN?
And VPN, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, honestly, with all that, you can get it's all for an affordable price too. But if you guys want to try it out, you guys can go to aura.com/nerdlocker and you guys can get a 2-week free trial to try it out and see exactly how it is. It's going to change everything for you guys. It was crazy how much of my stuff is on the dark web.
Less spam.
It's so much on the dark web, guys. They have all the information that you can even think of. Like, just do yourself a favor, make your online life a lot easier with aura.com/nerdlocker. Down below, get a 2-week free trial.
2-week free trial, huh?
Yep.
I like
14 days.
14 whole. Yeah, you got 14 fingers over there?
10 and 4. 14.
That's not 4. You just did this.
Pick number 3, my lord. And we're back. So, sorry, that was loud. I wanted to go over a movie we just saw. This movie was called Inside Out 2. So, guys, we watched Inside Out 2. I didn't think we would review it, but it kind of worked out to where we just literally saw it tonight.
Yeah.
And
do you want to go over like the process of getting there? I don't know if anything happened to you. There's nothing really that happened to me.
No, it's just we went on. dude, the highway just felt like it was a drive. Like, I don't know, it felt
Dude,
very...
I feel like I was on like NASCAR.
There was no traffic,
It was crazy. Like it was like,
but like you had to maneuver.
it was cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I was in Fast and Furious.
So we get to the theater and everything's pretty like ship shape. We grab a drink, whatever, blah blah. We start watching the movie.
I accidentally followed you.
Where?
Yep, into the parking lot. I was like, shit, where's the theater in this place? And I was like, oh, that's Adam. And I accidentally followed you.
Nice. So we get there, we watch the movie. The movie, guys, okay, so I want to just bring up a couple things. Number one, I don't want to spoil anything for the movie. I'll spoil all the fucking Acolyte, but we're not going to spoil Inside Out 2 because there's no point in it. More in the fact of this movie was just as good as the original. Like, just as good as the original. And that's saying something because
Really
Pixar
good.
has not really done... I mean, their sequels...
Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2.
I like Toy Story 1 more. Yeah. But Toy Story 2 is really, really good. Like, all of the Toy Stories are great. But, like, I don't like this franchise, but Cars dipped on sequels.
Cars, yeah.
But Frozen skyrocketed in sequels. Because, like, the first one did very well, like, amongst that demographic, but that's not what Disney wanted. They wanted everyone. And they, like... did that with Frozen 2. They were like, okay, now we're getting the young, the middle, and like the older age. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what this one does too, because it's like we're growing with Riley, but it's still hitting us because those feelings, because if you guys know from trailers, like anxiety, embarrassment, boredom, and envy get involved, and it's stuff you still deal with. And I have some theories on this I want to get into as well, but like, what is your take on this?
I like the movie a lot. There were certain moments where I like get a little sniffy, you know,
right?
Like pretty sniffy.
When did you feel it? What was one particular moment we could think of?
When a certain, like, it was one of the major points in the movie plot point where it says I'm not good enough. Mm-hmm. I was like, fuck, dude. I feel that. Like, Jesus.
I definitely felt
we're fucking 30 and this person's feeling like this
at 13.
Like 13.
Yeah.
I'm like, do we just
did you feel like that at 13?
No, I didn't feel like that until high school.
Okay.
Yeah 13, I didn't give a fuck about anything.
Mm-hmm.
I was dropping cakes in my fucking house over here.
I think for me one of the tearjerker moments was definitely like, and there's a line, and guys, I'll spoil at least this line because it's very much like it just sears in my brain, which is, I guess the older you get, the less joy you have. And guys, dude, that like, without even knowing what the movie's about, I think that's enough context for you guys to understand, like, this is a very heavy movie, and they say these things in a way of like, and I was talking to my wife about this afterwards, and she said it's like art therapy, where like it's so much easier to see feelings if you look at them and associate them with colors and the way they're supposed to look and blah blah blah. That still brings me to another theory, but like overall, before we get into that, what is your score for the movie? What did you rate the original?
I don't remember. We didn't do this podcast.
We never did, but like, what would you say the original is to you?
Dude, because you saw it recently, didn't you?
I just watched it again the other night.
I haven't seen it in a while. I really
like. If you were gonna recommend it to someone, what would you give them a rating of? Like, how much would you recommend them to watch it?
Honestly, I'm gonna say 9 for the original, 8 for this one.
Okay,
No. Let's flip that because the original didn't make me like.
You don't remember it that much, right?
Yeah. Choky.
Same with me. Like, I didn't remember the original that much, but when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, I cried.
Really?
The original. Dude, that's again, crazy. I didn't cry the first time I watched it. I cried the second time. Because you have to, now that you know the premise, just watch the original one more time, and you'll be like, wow, this is nuts,
like,
dude.
Hitting hard.
Yeah. So I think, and like these little subtext, I would probably rate the first one a 9.5, and I want to give this one a 9.5. Guys, I might come back to this in a random episode in the future when I watch it again, because I probably will. And I'll give you guys a better rating, but I want to go right now with 9.5. It might change for the both.
Oh, for both. Okay.
Both. So some of the theories I have is the first one was definitely Riley at 11. Now she's 13. I think the next one is, because think about it. There was 4 emotions that replaced the others, right?
Right.
But there's 5 originals. And we got to look at it. Anxiety was a more complicated version of fear.
Yeah.
Embarrassment was a complicated version of sadness. Envy was a complicated version of disgust.
Yeah.
But
there was no anger.
Boredom
Yeah, he doesn't have a counterpart.
Is kind of a complicated version of joy. In other words, of like not caring and whatever, like
just a feel.
Yeah, like like so that.
There's no
so
anger.
There's anger. Think about it. What would be the complicated version of anger that we haven't seen that we were also thinking was happening in this movie?
I don't know.
Love.
Oh my god.
Bisexual or trying to find your sexuality, because imagine love mixed with anxiety and fear.
Yeah.
All of those things going together, you know what I mean? So cute. I think love is that other thing that would be the opposite of anger, or the more complicated version of anger, because love can cause you to be angry.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So like, I think that's where we're getting at. We keep seeing this in the first one. If you watch it very closely, they had a lot of emphasis on Family Island. It's the one that didn't fully fall down. And then we see it again in this one of how small it is. Little we're getting to that family thing. And I think it's love that's going to be that next emotion that's going to come into her, because she's going to have to try to get not only feel accepted from her family, but also going on with that. And I think that's her.
Are we getting like Harry Potter 5 kind of vibes?
I think, in a way, I think what we're going to get to is like she's definitely going to she's going to get to her first relationship.
Yeah.
That's what the next one is.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened.
Yeah, I think her first relationship, and or her first crush, like real true crush.
We did touch on crushes, and then we did touch on super secrets.
Because we have Mount Crushmore, which shows like all these things, but also remember it was pushed into imagination land.
Yeah.
That was never there before. So it's like it's in her imagination of what she wants out of someone.
Right.
But I think she's
and then we also have the
friends,
super dark secret,
which we found out was the. So guys, one spoiler about this is they tease halfway through the movie this deep dark secret, and then the post-credit scene says that she burnt a hole in the rug. But then Joy says something else to the secret.
It's like, oh, it wasn't the first time she peed in the pool?
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, I gotta go back in. So like this deep dark secret harbors any current secret. So that secret can change, and he won't change. So like
he's
it's
forever
gonna
in
be
the vault, basically.
Something that's gonna be that. I think that's where they're going for an Inside Out 3. I don't think we'll get it for it. It took almost 10 years for this one to come out. We're gonna see it in a few years from now. But
Pixar, they're doing their thing.
It's gonna come out. I really think that this movie had so many things that like just made sense, and it's such a great way for like kids to
we got a panic attack in there kind of thing.
We had a panic attack. Like it helps kids process emotion, and I hope this helps future generations of like feeling
it was cool.
Differently, or like understanding themselves differently.
Definitely a good movie. It was definitely recommended.
Yep. But other than that,
Incredibles 2
I think was better.
Really? Than the first one?
Yep.
Oh, I think the opposite. I think the first one was better.
I liked the first one for what it was. I liked the second one for we got more of the family dynamic, because I think the first one was definitely just Mr. Incredible's midlife crisis.
But that was so cool.
But the fourth one, or the second one, brought the four together in a different way of like getting to see more of Elastigirls, because I feel like the second one was definitely more Elastigirl.
Maybe
if they do an Incredibles 3, I feel like they'll focus a little bit more on the children. But like, we also got more Jack in the second one. Like everything we wanted, they gave us a lot of fan service in the second one. I think that's why I like it more, because it was like everything I wanted out of the first.
It was pretty good. I did like that movie. Oh, Bugs Life 2.
I didn't even see it.
Doesn't exist. All right, well, so where can we find you?
Don't you owe me a Bean Boozled? Oh, that's
no,
Deadpool, right?
I do not.
Deadpool.
What was the deal?
I don't know. I gotta look back.
Fuck. All right.
Well,
I think we're done here, right?
You can find me at AMR Photography. You can find this podcast at Nerd Locker Podcast, and you can find the studio Archangel Studios Official for all your entertainment needs.
You can find me at Oliver Convia on TikTok, but every other social media, I am the Sphere 21.
And speaking of other entertainment needs, he has an OnlyFans called Only Spheres.
I don't.
Guys, the podcast might have changed a little bit, but let me tell you, the jokes have not.
Nothing he says is true.